just got me wondering. Do you think when we get to 2029, I know we're in 2025, I know that's a long way away, that's far enough to the future, but when we get to that time, it will of course be the 100th anniversary of the Academy Awards. So I just thought, why does the Oscars is so out of touch now with film fans like me and others around the globe, despite ages and generations? It's just like, where do the Oscars go? Like after when they hit 100, what's gonna happen? I don't know, because like nowadays we got the stuff like you look at the entire Oscar, like over the years, like decades they always love picking actors much who have been in the business for a very long time. They pick actresses who've also been in the business for a long time, and they're all and somehow they're very like not sometimes I think they're racist half the time. Like you look at all of the actresses, half of them are all like most of them are all white. Not to be racist or anything. I'm not being racist, and only one of them was black, and I'm just like, why in the fuck would someone do that? Like, and they pick the most predictable wins like all the time, like last year. You know what was sweet last year? Anora, a movie about a sex worker being living in some palace. And also people like me and others, we don't go and see the movies the Academy Award nominates. I and others go see blockbusters, franchise movies, or um, other movies, like that. But I'm just like, we don't see these because we're not fancy like them. Cause to me, they've all who of course nominate these movies like their raffle tickets or their participation trophies. They just go because they're like top of the world. They feel like they're like high politicians. They make the votes and we don't, and that upsets us. And then we go and people online, including myself, like we get meltdowns about it. We get like angry about it. You're just like, why did you do that? You should have done something else. And that's why we live. That's why we don't. I don't stay up till like 2 in the morning to watch it. And I find out what's on social media. If it's on Twitter, and I still don't call it X. I call it Twitter or YouTube or any platform or any of our social platforms we use in our daily lives for anything. And you're just like, what? Where are we gonna go? Like, also with the filmmaking trends now, because everything's all moving into this. People getting scared about all this AI stuff going on. All this not made by humans, it's made by algorithmic machines. And like when we look at the 2026 one, I hope stuff like Sinners gets there, because I will definitely properly see the movie in October time. We are going to October very, very soon, and other movies for sure. But like, it's so weird to me. You imagine if they announced something like the Minecraft movie being in Best Animated Feature. That's not animated. That's like live action. But also, how the Oscars do animated features. I'll get to that bit in a very moment. They are very much so much like it's either Pixar or Disney, which are very obvious. They're like the two. They're like the apples and oranges of the animation industry. But then they nominate the most obvious ones. Like, I was so upset back in 2015 they didn't even let like Lego Movie, one of the greatest, like one of the best animated films of the past decade, didn't even get into the best animated feature category. I'm like, why do that? It makes me sad that movie's so beautiful in every way. It's got everything you want from a creative it's probably I'll say it's the best toy brand that got into a film. Yeah, I don't care. I can say I didn't see why, because that was a big. I feel like, to me, that felt like a one big joke, and I can't believe that got nominations, because I understand it's very much like what the Academy likes, those old school musicals. It has a musical moment in there, but I couldn't care less. But then I nominate all these dramas people see. But look, I got a question. Why they don't nominate superhero movies, action, or even comedies? Um, Sometimes horror, but they only get like one award, and I'm just like, why? Why are they against that? Like, there was nothing for Dark Knight, Avengers, Logan back in the 2010s. I don't know why. And then you go back at decades past, you can look at all the winners of that time, and you're like, why did they pick this? What went wrong? I just don't get. And even like who like at least they had better hosts. I mean, years ago we had Ellen, which we all know she's a horrible piece of shit, and I'm glad she is. I never liked her personally, but that was just weird, you know. Like she was like, "Oh, we're doing pizzas, we're doing selfies." You know, kids they do selfies. It's like then they get Jimmy the most boring Kimmel because he tries to be funny if he's not making Trump jokes because you know we're kind of in a dark time political wise, societal wise. But you know there has to be hope. I'm a hopeful person myself, but I don't know where I'm glad Cohen's coming back for a second time. He was the only reason I watched last year's Oscars because he is funny and awesome and just great and a smart man too. But you imagine that like the next Oscars they start trying to do trendy topics like, hey, imagine they start doing TikTok dances. Imagine that a nearly 100-year-old award show that celebrates what we love as film and art start doing like TikToks that your 15-year-old does or like your 10-year-old tries to do when they're trying to dance but they can't do it. It bothers me what will happen there. I don't know, but that's just I mean I don't know where, but you look at like where we are as like direct like movies wise, you know, like people complain now everything's all franchise fatigue, super fatigue. I don't believe that. I mean, yeah, like stuff like Fast and Furious and horror franchise should have ended years ago, but I don't believe in super fatigue. I know people say everything's all $200-300 million, like you know live action remakes are, and people want small budget films like Sinners was, which is great. I'm glad that's getting recognition, but to me, I'm not bothered how big the budgets are. I just want them. I just want a movie tell a good story, have good characters, and what you're trying to say and reflecting on what's going on, you know, media affects society, which I love from criticism. But that's what we know. But they'll like the Oscars will pick some obvious choices. Like last year, they picked like best original song. They picked El Mal from Emilia Perez, which is so weird, and like they picked some of the weirdest songs ever. Like not even the songs we like. I don't know, but that's just my thing. Like you got all these people saying like, and like people aren't even gonna people don't even watch them like the Oscars. Like I said, people only wait to see what goes wrong. Like when they wake up the next morning and like, oh, something goes on. Well, it's on social media, gets 1 million views and it's on 1 million news reports. But I don't really care. Remember the Oscars used to be fun and exciting. It felt like I don't know a sporting event, but now it's just become like this. It reminds me of like an old person in a retirement home who tries to act like young, but they can't. And then they pick the most safest wins ever, and they're so predictable. And I'm just like, oh, it's so sad. Like, remember when Suicide Squad won an Academy Award? A DC terrible movie overall. Not just a superhero film, but it's just like that wins, and then they pick stuff like Green Book, and like what's going on here? This doesn't feel right. I don't get it, but people asking if people don't go to cinema anymore. People want to stay home and watch streaming, and it's got all these streaming platforms, and even all the new directors coming up, and I mean I don't know, but it just bothers me how like anyone still watches like this. Like I even say it with like I can even say it like with stuff like with the Grammys and the VMAs like last night, which I didn't even I saw an ad for them, but I didn't even watch it because I just looked through one last night. I'm like, oh okay, whatever. But like I feel like award shows, and not just the Academy Awards, but like award shows in general aren't even relevant anymore. Like okay. They'll just pick the most safest winners, and then they'll pick the ones that they won't pick the ones that I and others around the world, you know, movies and music, get really angry about online or in the news, and we make tantrums or fits about them because like it should have gone to them. Like we should have went to that person. And stuff. I don't know why we do this as the society. It doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't get it. Like. Maybe because they don't want to get cancelled or they don't want to get censored, you know, all this stuff, and they're trying to like I don't know. It's just weird to me. It just boggles my mind when you just really think about it. When you look back and you're like, why are we here? How did we get here? What went wrong? What could we fix? I mean, I maybe hope if next year's 2026 Oscars may be better. You keep Cohen as a host. That's fine. But you know who also I would. These are my host picks. If they wanted hosts like the Oscars, you bring Dave Chappelle, funny guy. maybe the Muppets bring some joy, and just anyone who I was gonna say like I don't know. There's so many, but nowadays they're trying to be funny, but they gotta be careful nowadays for comedians because we're in dark times, with MAGA stuff and what's going on overseas. It's just too much. But I don't know where the Oscars will go when they hit 100 in 2029. I don't know, but I mean, it used to be the fun, exciting event. We're giving out movies award golden statues because and to the people who work on them because they deserved it because they made a difference and we champion they're the athletes and we're the fans. But now it just feels like we're trying to be relevant by trying to we're trying it just felt like we're just trying to be relevant with all the new stuff coming up in this because life moves so fast. They're trying to catch up with things, but the Oscars are trying to do that but failing. And I'm just like, what? Like, okay, I understand you're trying to be hip and modern, but you're not working. It doesn't work. They'll pick the most safest bets ever. It's like the Grammys when last year they gave everything to Kendrick because he's having a feud with Drake and he is saying the truth because I think Drake is what I'm on about, but I'm not gonna say it. But pedophile, but or like I heard the VMAs last night. Taylor Swift wasn't there. Well, no, because she got a new album coming out with her boyfriend. I don't really care, but no, I'm just saying it just doesn't work for me. As well, I just don't get it, and I don't know. Maybe also the Oscars should also and every award should double up the nominations, like the 10 to 11, not just 5. They have now, but I don't really know. I don't know where we'll go when we get to that time, but I honestly don't. I mean, I look at the nominees for every year, even now, and when we had the recent one, I'm like, I haven't even seen most of these. Like, they won't go and see the big ones because they don't like those type of movies for some reason. They want to watch drama-based films or something. I don't know. I mean, you look at all this stuff. They love to pick, actresses and actors because they can cry or they can be sad or be angry, but that's not what acting is. Acting is literally like a spectrum of emotions. That's what it's supposed to be. I've seen so many over the years, classic and new, but they like to pick the ones where they cry and sad, and it's like, come on, it's more than that. They don't pick comedic. They don't even pick comedic roles anymore. They used to, but now they don't because we don't want to be cancelled with the woke culture and all that because we might get attacked by the woke mob and Jesus. I'm just tired anyway. And even the people who get the awards, they don't even have time to do the speeches because they cut them off immediately. I'm just like, why? They're so fuck off, Academy. No, why? Stop it. Let them speak. They've made a big difference. Make them speak. Then you got people I don't know, Adrian Brody going off tangent. He goes on and on and on. He's telling stop the music. I'm just like, dude, you're not the ringmaster. You got the award. They just go on forever. You got to pick. It's like Rick Gervais, who I thought was funny at the Grammys. I know he's controversial when he did it because all the stuff he was talking about R. Kelly and Greta Thunberg. Oh my god, it's insane. Ugh. They should get some I don't know. There's so many people that you could host, but I don't know. Overall, I don't know where we go when we get to that time, but I don't really know. I mean, 25. We're just living our basic lives. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I wish they had that category in the Oscars called blockbusters. How come they haven't get anything to the franchise film, not just the MCU, but other franchise movies? They don't do that for some reason. I don't know why, but okay. But it's just weird to me, I don't know. I don't get it, but that's just my overall thoughts on where the Oscar could be in 2029 when they hit 100, because I don't know. Because they're just declining ratings, no one's watching them. People don't like the choices they picked. Us fans don't like what they picked. We don't like what they've chosen in the categories because no, we should have had this, we should have that, but they don't care. I don't get it. And these award shows are so awkward when you watch them. You're like, why are we wasting time? Keep it going, keep it flowing. But they go on for 3 hours. I mean, that's long enough. Like Lord of the Rings or King Kong or Avengers Endgame are more engaging 3 hour epics than than an entire award show. I'm like, come on, keep it going, speed up a little bit, don't be so dragged. Oh, Jesus. And then they try to be funny, but they're not. It's like, who writes these jokes? Oh, because, again, we're in this era, we gotta be careful what we say, because we might get cancelled, because, Trump and the cancel culture, because I just don't care. But then, anyway, that's my overall thoughts of where the Oscars could be when we get to that time, so that's my overall thoughts.